Well, one of my favorites actually was, let's talk the principle first of how to hire. One of my favorite success stories is, are we briefing the candidates right? You know, because too often we find businesses, and that's why I say get some advice on recruitment process. Still use, recruitment companies for candidates, and you can get your candidates in many different ways. But a solid, robust recruitment process is such an important one, because how often do you find it where people go for a job interview, and the cliche or the stereotype I like to give is, we go to a job interview at a head office somewhere, or at a recruitment company's head office, and it's up on Umhlanga Ridge or in Sandton, and it's this beautiful chrome and glass office with a view and beautiful coffee machines, and we interview for a job and it looks amazing, and the person takes the job, they get accepted to the job, and they say, no, but you're not coming here, you're going across town to you're not in this, you're in a branch across town, and you're working in this rubbish rundown branch that's and the boss you get handed to isn't even the person you interviewed. You gelled so nicely with the person you interviewed, and now you get put with what kind of monster is now this boss for you, and you think, oh my gosh, what have I done? I've resigned from a really good job. So you've got to interview in the place, so wherever the person is going to work, that's where the interview should be. You know, if they're going to be in a factory floor, that's where the interview should be. If they're going to be in a fancy, cozy office in a beautiful upstairs from a Starbucks, brilliant, then interview in the Starbucks, but let them see where they're going to be. Bring in a couple of the colleagues. So we do a panel interview where they can meet not just the person they're working for, but a couple of the managers, a couple of the team. Because, you know, you want to give people as much information as possible so that they don't make the wrong decision. Because if they make the wrong decision and come and join you, 1 month, 2 months later, they're going to update their CV and they're going to scram. And now what we're going to do, we're going to start interviewing all over again. So being very clear on the expectations. And a lovely case study for me is it revolutionized. It's an old client of mine here in Durban, actually, a construction business. And this chap was working, good grief, 7 days a week. He was up at 6 or 5:30 every morning. And, you know, anybody that works in the construction game, you know what it's like. You got to get your crews ready for the day, and they pack their tools. And off you go. The crews are on site, and he'd be working late every evening, and working from home office. And he was burning out, not making money, not paying bills, and not finding any time with his family. So I was pushing him to get a solid right-hand admin person that was going to just obviously free up time, because he was doing most of the admin himself, the bookkeeping himself, the job cards. He was really burning out. So we did the group interview. We got a couple of favorite candidates, our favorite 3 candidates, and I facilitated the interview myself, the client, his wife on the interview, and one of his foremen. And we just a nice discussion, get to know each other. And obviously you still do more intensive one-to-one interviews separately, but this is more a get to know you, because we want to find fit of the right person. And before we had the candidates introduce themselves, I obviously have the owner of the business introduce himself, and then I have each team member introduce. And every team member would say, you know, this is my name, this is what I do here, this is what I like working about, this is what I like about this company, this is what I don't like about this company. Because you want to give people the good news and the bad news. No, don't just give the fake good stuff. Every business has got good and bad stuff. And then I asked each of them to say, what is going to be the primary KPI or the determinant of success in this person? I remember my client's wife stood up, and she was quite a reserved person. She doesn't often speak out a lot. And she stood up and she said, listen, I will tell you, you know, even though it's not my business, I still am involved in decisions in this business. And for me, the main factor, whichever of you ladies get the job, she says, I will know that you're doing a good job is that my husband starts coming home in daylight hours, and my husband starts having dinner with the family every evening, and he starts attending the girls' school events, the daughters. If that is not happening in the next 3 months and I don't get my husband back, I will ask him to fire you, and I'll ask him to hire somebody else. And how is that for a clear 1-point KPI or key performance indicator on the success of their job? And we obviously put a lot of other stuff in place in his business, but it was quite phenomenal in terms of turning around profitability, getting proper analysis on the business. I mean, even to this day now, his business has grown substantially. What happened in that business, half the revenue, tripled the profits. Because the main thing is, he was freeing up time, but importantly, he was doing the top level analysis in the business. He was getting to look at his costings, looking at his margin, at every project, being able to do a post-mortem on every project, and actually see, was I actually profitable on that project? And we uncovered all sorts of pricing issues and buying issues, and the amount of systems we could put in place to both free up time but increase profitability at the same time was astonishing. So he now works a regular working day and takes care of his kids. He's at all of his kids' school events and making more money than ever. And that one hire was one of the most instrumental parts in that process. So there's plenty of case studies like that, but that's one that I still really get excited about, Harry.